Okay. All right. My apologies to my online people. I got to talking about something this morning and got distracted. Doesn't take much. Okay. All right. So let's talk about a couple of things. I did get the February calendar out there. If you saw it posted in Google Classroom, if you ever want a copy of the class calendar again, I'm going to pop this off long enough to go over a few things and I will pop it right back on. And especially for honors, that calendar is vitally important to keep up with when your next honors project is. There's 4 total, it's 1 a month. Tomorrow is the due date for your first one. Again, all 3 components, your serial box, resume, and your commercial. So again, you've got some options there, especially if you are online or if you're an 8A student. Bringing it in person is always an option, or submitting pictures. All right, whatever floats your boat as far as that goes. But if you, let me say this to everybody, if you submit pictures of your serial box, I need to be able to see all sides from all angles if you do pictures versus bringing in the actual serial box itself. Resume, and I feel bad because I'm pretty sure there were a couple of people that asked me questions about the resume. At some point in time, in my head probably, I thought that I said this. Google Docs, right? Google Docs. Google Docs has a resume format, and that's what I would strongly encourage you to use, to go in and use their layout to put in your information. It's the easiest. That's what I would recommend. And again, you can save it as a doc and easily throw it into Google Classroom and then doing a short little video clip for your commercial, unless you guys want to do it live in person tomorrow. It's always the best option. Always the best option. All right. And again, short, quick, to the point, long enough to hold up your cereal box and say Jackson O's, the cereal that gives you that General Crunch. I just made up that. Literally just came up with that. Okay. So anyway, all 3 pieces due tomorrow. Please don't forget. The biggest thing, and I feel like I need to yell it, honors projects are never accepted late. Okay. Now, obviously, there are, some exceptions. You got hit by a bus first thing in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And you just could not quite limp in. Right? It's like I would encourage you just to drag yourself and finish turning it in. Especially if you can just walk it off, right? You only got nipped on the shoulder. You should be able to walk that off. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so honors projects are not accepted late. And then honors project 2. I should have pulled it out to be 110%, but I'm almost positive that number 2 is the Facebook project. And of course, you've got multiple ways in which to do the Facebook project, but you are picking a historical figure of your choice. This person did it on poster board. There is a fake book, and that's F-A-K-E, a fake book that you can do for your person if you want it to be digital, and then you can copy and paste the URL and submit it that way. It's off of ClassNet Tools, or classnet.com/tools. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, so there's multiple ways as to how you can do the Facebook page for your historical person. Same thing as the President Serial Box. I'm going to put a Google Sheets for you guys to go in and put who you want so that we don't have doubles on anything. I'm going to go ahead and set it up to where it has suggestions, because I do want you guys to pick the time period that we're currently in. I do want you guys to focus on people that are alive at the turn of the century. Okay. So who is this? Jane Addams, Henry Ford, Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Coco Chanel, any of those early actors and actresses, Clara Bow, Charlie Chaplin.
Would Marilyn Monroe be one?
Oh, I gotta check her birthday. I don't know.
Because she was alive when Kennedy was in office.
Yeah, but that was in the 60s. Yeah, I don't know. Let me,
It's 1926.
1926. All right, that's cutting it closer on what I wanted. I really would prefer somebody that's alive and kicking between 1880 and 1920 at the latest.
Okay, I was just wondering, you said turn of the century, and I thought you meant, would it be?
Yeah, I mean like early 1900s, like
Okay.
early. Yeah, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, like I really don't want you to push it past somebody that's born after 1920. I'll put up some suggestions, and if you have somebody else that you think of, let me know. But I'll put in some suggestions. But I do want it somebody that is not just alive, but they're old enough to do something, if that makes sense. They're old enough to do something early 1900s, turn of the century. But I'll put pictures up of suggestions as to how you can do it. But you are building them a Facebook page with friends and photo albums, and you have to have comments on your wall. So anyway, a modern twist on info on your historical figure of choice. And I don't want presidents this time around, just because that's what we used for Honors Project 1. So that would be probably another exception, is making sure that it is a historical figure of some sort. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, unless there's any questions, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get into talking very quickly about bell ringer, and then everything else for today. So here's our schedule. Hold on. Let me stop it. Do it. Move. I can't. There. Okay. All right. Now you guys can see what they're seeing. Okay. So here's your bell ringer question. Again, a review, and my sincerest apologies. I do not like to ever do intentionally a quiz on a Monday or a Friday. That's just kind of how the cookie crumbled this time. So we're going to finish by tomorrow all of unit, well, I shouldn't call it a unit, chapter 13, Urban America and Immigration. We're going to finish it by tomorrow. And then Monday, we'll do a review session and go ahead and knock out your quiz, which is a quiz, and it is short, simple, to the point, and we can jump in on Tuesday into your next combo unit. So that, just know that that's what's coming up. All right, test, quiz. It's a quiz. Quiz on Monday. Anyway, so far so good. Questions, comments, concerns? No? Okay. All right, we're going to dive into it. Here's what we got. We got bell ringer, notes, finish IDs and SQs today. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then immigration packet. We're going to push as far as we can in the immigration packet. If there's anything that you have to do, you can wrap up with it. Oh, no, today's Wednesday. We'll finish IDs and SQs tomorrow. My bad. Tomorrow. And then, anyway, here it is. Here it is from yesterday. What is a political machine and why are they a problem? Quick, fast, and short answer. And again, you can just throw this in Google Classroom or do it on paper pencil, whatever floats your boat. A political machine is a political party that controls all of an area. And that will be on your quiz on Monday. Political machine is a political party that controls all of an area. And an example would be William Boss Tweed, who's got control of the Democratic Party in New York City. That would be a good example. But we got a two-part question. It wants to know, why are political machines a problem? 9 times out of 10, these political individuals are in office for power and money. That's it. That's the only reason why they're in there. They're in there because they are selfish and wanting their own financial gain, not because they actually want to help citizens. Examples of what they do to keep power. Again, there's no secret ballots, so they can go and watch you vote for whoever you're going to vote for. And they can threaten you. They can say, hey, I'm going to get you kicked out of your apartment. I'm going to get you fired from your job. I'm going to make sure that I make your life miserable if you don't vote for me. But the only way we can bring about change is if we can get what's happening out there to the wealthy upper class that don't have strings attached to them, to put an end to political machines. And we'll talk about this again today. Unfortunately, bad things have to happen for change to come about. And President Garfield gets assassinated because he is trying to put his foot down and end all of this political corruption. So that's where we're going. All right, so we got two things to talk about. If you have the packet of notes, I'm going to finish rolling through what we started yesterday. I hit the wrong one. Hold on. There it is. Okay. And I can't remember. Did I ask you guys, I was like, does anybody want a printed packet?
Can I have a packet?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, let me dig it out and I'll tell you what page we're on. Okay. All right, so in the printed packets, Lillian, you might have to do me a favor and look and just confirm. 50, yes, yeah, yep, that's where we are. So as soon as I get it to you, flip page 50. Let me mask up. All right. Well, I think these are all hole punched and nice and ready for you. All right, here we go. And oh, that one's missing.
Well, it's just a page 50.
All right, and this one for some reason didn't get hole punched, but I can hole punch it for you once we get going. All right, so flip to page 50. And if for some reason those are missing the page, let me know, because there were a couple that somebody went through and I think messed them up. Okay, all right, so here's what we got. We're going to finish where we left off yesterday, and then we've actually got to talk about one more thing. Yeah, this unit doesn't particularly go in order for notes for some reason. You got it, it should say the Gilded Age.
Yeah, that's 50.
Yeah, Gilded Age, page 50.
I don't think I have that.
I knew
It's
it.
okay.
I knew it. I knew there was a packet that for some reason
I
got
don't want
messed
to mess
up.
you up. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I've got one right in front of me. Does
I
it
have
skip a bunch?
46 and then I have 53.
Jeez Louise. All right, hold on. All right, this one's not in order either. All right, I'll throw this to you and then I'll give you all what you need besides that. All right, once we get going. Okay, all right, sorry. Let me unfreeze myself. All right, let's do this. Let's go over it super quick and then we got to move into IDs and your immigration packet. All right, this is where we left off the other day. So let me fast forward really quick. Okay, here's where we are. I keep having to move you guys back and forth. There we go. Okay. All right, credit Mobler scandal. I want you to start, highlight, circle it. It is a railroad scandal, and this one you'll actually see. I'm pretty sure that it was on the 11-12 unit test, but you're going to see it again and again and again, especially on midterm. It will be on midterm. But the credit Mobler 1872 is a railroad scandal. Again, it happens under Grant's administration, and it's just evidence that we have a very, 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 very corrupt government during this time period, and everybody is out again for two things: power and money. Unfortunately, they're not getting government jobs because they actually want to help people, help the citizens, and do good. They're doing it because they want to make that money. So as these incidents kept popping up and being put out there to the public, we realized there is a problem. We need to fix the problem, but sometimes we let it go too far. Again, I would say a presidential assassination is going too far. But we realized that there's a lot of corruption. And again, Grant, great general, not so good a president, makes a lot of bad choices. And unfortunately, when he hires a lot of friends and some family members to be part of his cabinets, those are not good decisions because those are part of the ones that end up making millions off of this scandal. So it's super embarrassing, and Grant has to apologize to the American people after he leaves office. And that's how bad it is, you know? Okay, all right, so let's talk about these details. Again, we said the spool system. Spool system is what's going to start causing a lot of problems, but what's going to fix it is down here, the civil service system, which means you now have to be qualified. You now have to be educated and qualified for a government position. You know, for example, if somebody has no background in education, they definitely should not apply for a cabinet position for the Department of Education, right? So that's just an example. So we want to make sure that people that we're hiring are actually people that are knowledgeable and experts in their field for that particular department, position, whatever it is. Everything starts with Rutherford B. Hayes. He attempts, fun fact, did you know that Rutherford B. Hayes was a janitor earlier in life? He was a janitor, yeah. And they, you know, they kind of use that as like a play on him trying to clean up the White House. Anyway, you get it? Okay. So anyway, so he attempts to start fixing the messes, but there's a lot of resistance for obvious reasons. There's a lot of people that do want to keep their jobs, you know, and they're not qualified. So he starts trying, but it's not going to be until Garfield comes in that Garfield says, no, we're not doing the school system anymore. It is based on they come up with the Pendleton Act. But anyway, long story short, Garfield comes in. Garfield's elected in 1880. He ends up being assassinated, like I said, you know, let's round it and just say roughly 5 months. 5 months into office, he ends up being assassinated. Here's a picture of it. That's Garfield. He's talking to somebody. The guy comes in, shoots him in the back. Garfield hangs on for like 68 days or something. I don't know. He just, I can imagine just suffering like that. But anyway, he hangs on for a few days and then he finally passes away. His VP, Chester Arthur, becomes president after that. And in his honor, and you want to star this, he passes the Pendleton Act in 1883, which makes it official and legal now that nobody can get a government job that is not qualified for it, has an educational background in it, etc. Oh,
I think we're almost done.
If you are on the math call, you can come down to the lunchroom
Let's
and
see.
get your picture done.
Is it not inside of one of those boxes
Come
on
down and get your picture done.
the Gilded Age?
Come down and get them done for the first time, or if
Hold
you
on.
didn't like the one you took last time, just come get it redone.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, there's just stuff above it.
Yeah.
It's stuffed in the same box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's just stuffed in there. It's all stuffed together. I'm sorry. So fun fact, we had not yet created the 25th Amendment to the US Constitution that has presidential succession, all right? Which means that if something happens to the president and he can no longer do what he's supposed to do, or if he passes away, then it goes to the next in line. And because Garfield was not officially dead and we did not have the 25th Amendment yet, everybody just kind of walked around looking at each other like, I don't know what to do. And Arthur couldn't take power until he officially died. Let me ask you this, who knows? A little trivia question for you today on this sad looking Wednesday. Who's next in line after, most people know it's the vice president after the president, right? So who comes next? If something happens to the president.
Speaker of the House.
Wait, somebody said it.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah, Speaker of the House. Speaker of the House is next, and then do you know who's after the Speaker of the House?
It wouldn't be the no, it wouldn't be the commander of the army, would it?
No.
Is it secretary?
No, before you get to all the secretaries, because there's 15 secretaries over the 15 different departments, and they are in order. But before you get to those secretaries in the cabinet, So Speaker of the House is over the House of
Is it
Representatives.
Congress?
Then it would go, well, Congress is talking about both, the House and
The
Senate.
Senate?
So, yeah, but who specifically in the Senate is the President pro tempore in the Senate is who is going to pass to next. Here's a trivia question for you. What is the furthest we have ever made it down in the order of presidential succession? Anybody know?
I don't feel like it's-
Yes. Out of those top 4 that we've said, how far do you think we've made it?
To the secretaries?
Now, secretaries would start at number 5 because you got president,
Oh.
vice president, speaker of the House, president pro tempore, and then secretaries. Secretary of I always say it wrong. Interior? Nope. Nope. What's the other one? Jeez, cannot think. Anyway. All right, I just messed up the whole thing. Okay, I'll tell you. Speaker of the House. Speaker of the House is the furthest we have ever made it down, and it happened during the Nixon administration. So Nixon, Watergate, which means Nixon's out, his VP was in on it, so his VP is out, goes all the way to the Speaker of the House, and that was Gerald Ford. So he is our only non-elected president because president and VP are both, we vote on them both together. So anyway, I'm sorry, I messed up that whole entire story. All right, I'm going to fast forward it. Who loves like really weird random facts and trivia? Because I got a good one for you. All right, we got a little bit of a cradle robbing situation happening with one of these presidents. Let me tell you about this guy. Grover Cleveland is the one and only U.S. president to be president twice, but non-consecutively. Grover Cleveland comes in and is elected in 1884. He will lose the following election to Benjamin Harrison, who is grandson to a former president. All right, he is grandson to William Henry. Wait a minute, not William Henry. Yeah, William Henry Harrison, who was only in office for 30 days when he died from a cold.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
another fun fact there. And then Cleveland comes back in 1892. He was one of our first bachelor presidents when he was in office the first go around. The second time he gets married while in the White House, and he marries the daughter of one of his best friends, who is 25 years younger than him, who he held as a baby when she was first born.
Oh, that's nice. True love.
That is just, that is something. That is something else. How many of us can say, yeah, I held my wife or husband as a baby?
I don't want to say that.
That's fun facts, man. Come on. Okay. So anyway, what other issues have we got going on during this time period? We got all kinds of high tariffs. Why? Because we want people to buy American-made products. All right, we want them to buy American-made versus buying imports. And we're going to try and change that up later on because we also realize that buying imports from other countries is hurting farmers. Because hey, think about it this: if we're not buying from European countries, are they going to be wanting to buy our stuff? No, it's a two-way street, right? It's a two-way street. And so they're going to stop buying a lot of our stuff. And then we realize, you know what, we need to change that idea. It's going to be better business. All right. Now, here's one more thing we got to do. I don't know why this is not. Hit the escape button. It's not. Why is this not working? I don't know. All right. Now we're going to flip backwards one more time, and we are flipping all the way back. Go to page, I think it's 45. Flip back and see what page 45 is. All right, couple of quick things, and then we're going to get into IDs and immigration packet. I'm sorry.
Farmers and populace.
Okay, yeah, so we talked about farmers during the Wild West period, so we're actually rolling down to the second half of that page. So we're going to go over its review, which is fine. It's going to be on your midterm that's coming up at the beginning of March. So get excited about that. But the farmers are going to create, and I'm going to talk about this super duper quick, fast, in a hurry, because we got to move on, and I'll finish what I didn't talk about tomorrow. Farmers are getting upset because we know that these big, like railroad companies are charging whatever they want, and farmers can't afford to ship their crops to markets. So they create a third party called the Grange. Well, the Grange is actually going to develop into what we will later call the populist party. So you got to kind of talk about where it comes from to begin with. So it starts out being called the Grange before it becomes the populist party. And what is it that they want? They want the federal government to regulate trade. They want somebody to do something about the railroad companies. And the federal government comes in and says, the only group that can change anything when it comes to interstate commerce, which commerce is a fancy way of saying business, is the federal government. The federal government's the only one that can regulate interstate trade. All right, so here it is, the populist party. So this box, star and highlight the whole box, need to know it. All right, so here it is, populist party, takes the place of the Grange. They want to increase our money supply. They want income tax, and they want a progressive income tax, which means we heavily tax the rich. The more you make, the more you pay. So an income tax to give the federal government money to pay for stuff. Secret ballots for obvious reasons, so that you can't be harassed and beat up later if you didn't vote for somebody they wanted you to vote for. 8-hour work days. Again, I understand. You're like, well, what? Farmers, they make their own hours, right? There's power in numbers. So farmers are actually going to unite with workers, and that's how they make this big third party. So workers want 8-hour work days, immigration control. What do we say were some arguments as to why people are frustrated about immigrants coming in and the issue with jobs?
They're taking jobs that.
Taking jobs. What's another argument? What about pay?
Oh, are they getting paid less?
They're keeping pay low because they're willing to work for less. They're like, yeah, I'll take it. It's a job, right? I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, if I can pay Joe 3 cents an hour, then I'm going to fire Jerry because I'm going to pay him 8 cents an hour. So keeping pay low, taking jobs, overcrowding cities, on and on and on and on and on. So they want immigration control. They want the 17th Amendment, which we haven't got there yet. 17th Amendment is the direct election of senators. Here's crazy. All right, I told you there's corruption everywhere, right? Before the 17th Amendment, the way your U.S. senators got picked to work in Washington, D.C. is by the politicians that worked at the state level. So our guys in Raleigh, in the Capitol building in Raleigh, they would pick the senator that would, or senators, because you get two, that represented us in Washington, D.C. So during this very corrupt time period, is politicians picking other politicians a good idea? No, because they're only going to pick their buddies and friends that want, again, money and power and nothing else. So that's a bad idea. All right, we're going to wrap it up on this, and I'll probably have to finish tomorrow. Okay, so you know how everybody's fighting right now over whether or not we should up minimum wage? You know, that's a big topic right now, okay? And even though I could get into a lot on, you know, good and bad of that, we're going to talk about something else that has to do with money. Farmers had the idea of changing what our currency is backed by. Instead of backing it by gold, they said, let's back it by silver. There's more silver, which means we would have a bigger money supply. But what do you know between the value of gold and silver? What do you know?
Silver's not as high as gold.
Yeah, silver's not as valuable, so that's going to bring down the value of our money, which means you need to have more money to have the same value to anyway. You see where I'm going with this. And they're like, heck no, we're not doing that. And they're like, well, what about a bimetallic currency? So what does that mean? Well, bi means what?
Oh, two. So it's like both.
So using both silver and gold, which means the value wouldn't be as high as gold, but not as low as silver, but you're still bringing down the value of the currency. Okay, so anyway, they suggested all this. Long story short, it does not work. All right, long story short, and another fun fact. Fort Knox. Have you ever heard anybody say the expression they've got a lockdown like Fort Knox? Maybe? Nope. Okay. All right. Anyway, Fort Knox is one of several places across the United States that we have our gold supply hidden in. And it's like underground basement level bunker type situation that we have these rooms, and I have 10-foot tall floor to ceiling gold bars stacked up in these rooms at Fort Knox. And so you can imagine that they would have tight security on locations like that have our gold supply, right? And it's straight out of a James Bond movie. If you watch the movie Goldfinger, something like that, it is a James Bond movie. They wanted to come to Fort Knox and film their movie inside the fort, and the government's like, no, no, that's not happening. But they gave them pictures. And so in a Hollywood studio, they recreated the inside of Fort Knox to be able to film what they wanted for the movie. So that's pretty cool. You could actually look at that to see. But it's a very intense situation, right? Like the whole entire grounds have barbed wire. There's snipers on the roof 24/7. If you get over, the 20-foot tall barbed wire fence onto the grass around the fort, there's booby traps. You step on it and you blow up, kind of a situation, right? Well, let's just say that you make it past the booby traps, you make it past the snipers on top, you get to the actual fort, and you got to do like the eye scan thing, fingerprints. They take a blood sample and then you give it a liver, and then the door will open for you to go in, right? So after you do all that, well, it knows, if you, somehow fix the system and get in and you're not supposed to be there, the whole entire fort will flood in a couple of seconds. It will flood itself if you get in and you're not supposed to be in. So let's say you make it in, it floods, you hold your breath for 20 minutes, the water drains, and you can now proceed into the bottom basement of the fort where all the gold bars are located. They actually had citizens do like a lottery drawing to go in, because people were, conspiracy theories. The gold's not really there. Y'all were lying to us. You've got it hidden somewhere else. And so they did a lottery system and let like 20 citizens come in and actually do like selfies holding gold bars. Look at me and my gold bar, and people still said that they're lying. Government's lying. It's not really there. But anyway, last but not least, we know that there has never been a third party that has won an election. All right, we're a two-party system, Democrats and Republicans. Yes, we have third-party systems, but we've never had enough support for those third parties to win an actual election. So what has to happen 9 times out of 10 is that political party is going to have to join up with either Republicans or Democrats. The Populist Party is going to join up with the Democrats during the 1896 election. All right. I'm gonna ruin the surprise. William McKinley is the 3rd U.S. president to be assassinated. That was one of my fun facts the other day. We've had 4 total be assassinated. William McKinley is going to be number 3. He is being backed by Rockefeller and Vanderbilt and Carnegie, right? Millionaires in the United States. They are funding his campaign. So if you had to guess who you think is going to win this one? McKinley is, yeah. So McKinley is going to win, but that's who he's being backed by. We've got William Jennings Bryan, who's representing both the Democrats and the Populist Party. And we'll talk more about that later. That actually is getting ready to intro us into our unit for next week. So that's where we're stopping. Okay. All right. That is it. Here's what I need. If you don't have it out already, if you want paper copies of it, let me know. But you need your Chapter 13 IDs and SQs and your immigration packets. And that's where we're going to right now. So in your IDs and SQs, we are hitting up section 4. We'll do 5 tomorrow to round everything out. Does anybody want paper copies of anything before we go? All right, here we go. And I need to make sure I'm watching the chat. Okay. All right, chat, I'm sorry, section 4, question 26. List the factors that contributed to the farmers' unrest in the 1890s. So somebody tell me, why are farmers not happy? Why are they frustrated? What's the problem? Remember, big business owners are taking advantage of them, right? Like railroad owners. Railroad owners are taking advantage of them, charging high, crazy prices. The government's not really helping. Government's on the side of big business. But just say that. Just say railroad companies are taking advantage of them. Leave it at that. That's good enough. Railroad companies are taking advantage of them. Because farmers aren't making a killing as it is anyway. All right, 27. If I go too fast, let me know. 27. And there's two 27s. Oh boy. Okay. I was tired, man. All right, first 27. How did the Farmers Alliance try to help farmers? All right, so one, regulate the railroads, right? That's going to be one of the things they're going to do. Regulate the railroads, try and control trade prices. Yeah, give me at least one example. You don't have a whole lot of room, I know. Regulate railroads, control trade prices. Second 27, what economic factors caused farmers to support populism? They want change. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They want change. They want change. And they're going to join up with workers because there's power in numbers to fight for change. All right, last question in this section, 28 says, what were the results of the 1892 and 1896 presidential election? William McKinley wins. McKinley is a two-term president. He dies during his second term in office. So William McKinley wins, which also means that big business wins because that's who's backing him, unfortunately. But, and there's a phrase I could say, and I'm going to watch what I say. What is the expression about karma? That karma can really be something, you know? His VP during his second term in office is my man, TR, Theodore Roosevelt, who is just, oh God, he's one of the goats of the turn of the century. So Theodore Roosevelt, who they thought vice presidents were just there to look pretty and hold a position, they didn't expect McKinley to be shot and killed. And Theodore Roosevelt had to take over, and Theodore Roosevelt hates big business. So the people that financed the campaign are about to be on his target list. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, your IDs. All right, greenbacks.
Wait, what were the results of the 1892 and 1896 presidential election?
Just put McKinley wins. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
That was a really long story to say that answer. Okay. All right. Greenbacks. Greenback money. Paper money. Just write that down. Paper money. Paper money. 30 cooperatives. Several farms working together. Several farms working together for number 30. All right, 31, People's Party. That is another name for the Populist Party. Another name for the Populist Party. And if you want to write more detail, you can say Farmers and Workers United. And last but not least, we got both of our Williams. Williams Jennings Bryan is the Democrat representative. He doesn't win. He's the Democrat representative, and then William McKinley is president and wins the 1892 and 1896 election. president. I forget what number he is. He's number, I don't have the numbers memorized. Can't see from here. 25. He's number 25. He's the 25th U.S. president. He's number 25. Okay. All right. That's it for IDs and SQs. We're going to your immigration packet. Anybody questions, comments, or concerns? Anything that you may miss? McKinley, just put president, 25th president. If you want, you can put that he's the one that won the 1892 and 1896 elections. That's not really necessary. All right, immigration packets. Here we go. All right, yesterday we finished the fill in the blank. So what we're moving on to now is we're going to talk about the charts, and then I'm going to give you time to work on, or not charts, graphs. Graphs, yeah. Okay. All right, so on the circle, I'll turn my copy. On the circle graph, what you're doing, it says the first census in the United States was taken in 1790. It showed that the population, not counting slaves, was made up of the following nationalities. Construct a circle graph that shows the nationalities that lived in the U.S. in 1790. Write the nationalities and percentage in the graph, and then answer the true false questions. So for example, it says English is 61%. So taking your pencil or pen or whatever and going from 0 straight down to the middle where the dot is, and then taking it over to the left to 61, and then you'll write English 61%. And then what's left of your circle graph is where you'll put in the rest. So you'll
Wait,
go ahead.
so we kind of like block it off, like you said, go from 0 to the dot,
Yeah.
and then from 61 to the dot.
All right, so yeah, you go from 0 straight down to the dot in the middle, and then from the dot in the middle, go to the left and go draw a straight line to 61. So yours will show that you probably really can't see mine very well.
Okay, yeah, I see. I know what you're talking about now. I was confused a little bit.
Yeah, I know. So I'm a visual learner, so if I see it, I can understand it a little bit better myself. So what's left is what you will draw lines off to mark the rest of your percentages. For example, Irish is only 4%. So you'll go from the dot in the center to 65. Does that make sense?
I thought we don't fill it in between, like where it says 4%, we don't do 4%.
No, because you're using what's left after you do that 61.
I have mine.
Yeah, a visual might help a lot.
It helps me.
Yes, okay, all right, so I got an example for you. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's what you're looking
Wait,
for.
can you back it up a little bit? Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Okay, hopefully that helps. Okay, so that's what I'm going to leave you with. Make sure that you take care of your circle charts, and then you've got a whole 5 true false, and we're just going to wait and finish it tomorrow, because tomorrow's section 5 won't take us but a few minutes, and I'll keep my mouth shut and not run it so much tomorrow. And we'll finish your bar charts and your, man, you just took all the fun out of this, and your map. We'll finish that tomorrow. Sorry, guys. Bye.